welcome back to episode 372.
Hey, look, it's us.
It's not
Trevor,
372.
Trevor, wave to the people.
Trevor, stop playing video games.
Oh, if you update, I'm so exposed.
They can see you.
They can see
so
it.
Exposed. Right now, we'll
I'm
see.
doing
We'll
research.
See if it works.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to find the things that I...
They can see you until, in a few minutes we realize we broke it and they can't. But if so,
It's
welcome to
try
episode 41
41.
of the Nosebleeds podcast. Or episode 1 if you only have YouTube.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If you have no interest in hearing us without seeing us.
Yeah. I mean,
It's pretty
why
perfect.
would you?
Why would you?
We're making the pivot to video here. Wow, 4 years too late, but we're making it.
Yeah.
It's pretty perfect. We're entering like tryout season in with like our tryout numbers. Like we're gonna be hitting like the high 40s. Like
Yeah.
50. And like that's usually the numbers like
Yeah.
the new guys were.
Yeah, those are training camp numbers for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
training camp. Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
I was saying tryouts, but I knew that wasn't the right
Trevor, what
word,
number are
training
you?
camp.
78? Oh, you're going to make the team.
Hope you bought your house, bud.
So I've been teasing this story to Trevor and Kristen
God.
all day.
I know.
And I didn't say anything about it on Twitter because I wanted this to be where everyone in my non-work life hears this story. I told everyone.
We were just at dinner, and he like cracked up laughing in the middle, and he was like, "I remembered what I was gonna tell you, but I can't tell you."
Every once in a while, I just think about it, and it makes me. Ooh, motorcycles.
We
going
may hear
by.
To be
Street
honest, I have
noises
low
here.
expectations.
Really?
I'm like a little like I don't know. It's been hyped up so
All
much
right.
right now. I'm like a little.
So, Kristen and I moved into our new apartment. You're in it. This is new to you. It's new to everybody.
Here it is.
Just down the road.
This is close.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Really close.
No.
So
Is it at that wonky intersection?
it's at the end of the road where Railroad Street meets Bridge Street. Now,
You're really hyper locating us right now.
well, Railroad Street. What if you're not from
Yeah, I
Milford?
know,
What
I
do you
know.
think?
I know.
There's a railroad nearby, and you'd be correct. I'm sitting at that light, and it's red for a really long time. Like, why is it red? And then I realize across the street there's an old woman crossing with her walker. And
Okay.
it's one of those ones that has all 4 wheels on the bottom. It's not like 2 wheels and 2 poles.
Okay.
So she's not picking it up.
She's relying
She's
on
just leaning on it and walking.
it. Yeah.
She's going towards like.
She's
the
going
laundromat.
towards.
The laundry.
She's going towards.
The laundromat.
No, the other way.
Okay, she's going away from the laundromat.
She's going towards the
You say
bridge
laundromat?
across
Yeah, is there not a laundromat?
Guys.
In that plaza?
Okay, it's fine. Sorry.
towards the railroad tracks.
Okay.
I'm like, man, this light has been red for a really long time.
Oh God.
The lady gets onto the railroad tracks on foot, walking with her walker. All of a sudden, ding, 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 ding. Both arms come down. She's trapped. She's trapped. She's trapped in the middle of the fucking railroad crossing.
Well, you can get out. You can drive a car between
Not if
those
you're-
things.
Yes, you can.
But not if you're walker. I'm not.
Okay. I was like, okay,
That's
she's
not
gonna
all-terrain
be
walker.
fine. She's gonna be fine.
Oh no.
Until
Oh
now, remember how I described her walker? It's not the kind where you pick up every step.
Yeah.
no.
The wheels get caught
No.
in the fucking railroad tracks.
No one's.
She turns and looks around. The panic on her face. I'm a good 150
Yo,
feet
you're a ways
away.
back.
She was fine because the train was coming to a
she's
stop.
Scared.
Dude, probably horrified. And I'm just
What if
watching
she
her like,
just died
am I
right
gonna
there?
see someone die on my way into work on this Friday morning?
That was a test, and you fucking failed. First of
I don't
all.
think so. I'm too far away to do anything. Way too far away to do anything.
Sprint.
I'm not sprinting onto the
Sprint,
railroad track.
bitch.
This is literally the trolley problem. If you took a philosophy class, you know what the trolley problem
took
is.
a-
No. Most people know.
Do you
what the
put
trolley
yourself
problem
onto the trolley and say, I'm gonna die? No. Anyway,
is. No, she lived her life.
she gets it loose again. She finally gets out. But then she doesn't know what to do. Because she looks to her right and it's the arm
Yeah.
that says don't cross. And she starts going towards it and she like thinks she can get under it and she's like, I can't. So she backs up again and then goes to the left.
How long has this endeavor started? Since
From
From
probably close to 20 seconds.
Okay, so that's a good time.
A good portion of time she
Yeah.
was trapped in purgatory,
That's
essentially.
terrifying.
It was horrifying. And then I'm talking to people at work and they took the same approach you did. They blamed me. They were like, you could have been a hero. It's like, could have been, but didn't need to. That's extra credit. We
I'm
don't
surprised someone
go
else
for
did.
that.
I'm surprised someone else did.
Someone was across the street talking to her, but here's the other thing. Like,
That's even more bitch.
She could've-
Can you imagine like fucking trying to like manage
directions.
someone.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're fine. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if I ran over there, what was I doing? Okay, we gotta go this way.
Just
I would
pick
fucking
her up
run
and just
under
throw
the
that.
That's
fucking-
my friend is
Throw
like,
the
just throw
woman
it over
up
your
over-
shoulder, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not fucking
Throw her
Superman.
over.
What do you expect?
Then she like breaks her wrist and,
And
you
then
get
you get
sued
sued.
for it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like fucking The Incredibles when he saves the guy who kills himself. He's like, you broke every bone in his
He
body.
didn't
Yeah.
kill himself.
He tried to.
He also sued him because he said that he saved him when he didn't want to be saved.
Right.
Yeah.
That woman
Anyway.
clearly wanted to be saved.
So she has to end up like she's like, oh, what do I do? And she ends up going to the left and going off road on her walker.
Good for
And I
her.
thought that was more dangerous for her.
Yeah.
I thought that
but
was going to be a harder thing.
desperate times.
She did all right, and then she got to the other side, and when the train passed, she was still there, like just collecting herself. It was horrifying.
So wait.
That's awesome.
I'm just
'Cause
both
my
hands on the wheel of my
picture-
car. My jaws just dropped. I'm like,
Would you just like?
My
I'd be like
picture of
screaming
that
on the whole way.
spot-
Yeah.
there. I'd be like, "Whoa, sick!" I'd be so hyped the whole day.
That spot in Railroad Street has like, so the middle is the road, and then if you go a little further up the tracks, it's like it opens out into like grass.
yeah,
And then the other side is the train station.
yeah. She was on. She went onto the
towards
grass.
the grass. That's fine.
That's the side she was on.
It's probably the safest bet.
Now, here's what I was saying a little while ago. How did she get there and not see the train? It's not going 50 miles an hour. It's going 10 miles an hour through town.
Yeah.
She got up to it and didn't look to her right to see if a train was coming.
Well, okay.
Maybe she
Old
has bad
woman.
hearing.
Probably very hard of hearing.
You're,
Bad
you're
sight.
right. So make sure you look.
Maybe she has bad vision.
Bad vision.
What is
Was
she doing
like,
out by
hunched-
herself,
She's
though?
hunched over.
First thing in the morning.
She's hunched over looking at her walker, trying to fucking figure out how
Dude,
she's gonna
I-
get through this mess.
That
I
would
was
that
so-
would have made the day really exciting, though.
I was just
if you saw
like,
a woman
You would have had
fucking
you would have been late to
explode
work.
at the front of a train.
You would have had to been there for like
Guys,
the police
I-
report.
sorry, I can't come in today. I saw a woman explode.
It wasn't even really the train's fault. It was getting
she got so scared. She just, and her head just popped. Oh shit! So that was that.
Wait, there's no way we've been recording for 8 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh
That's
my
crazy.
God.
yeah.
That's a really good story. That's really funny.
Wow.
That was my morning. That was the morning. I had to think about that all day.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
what
not,
if she
that's
got
not
hit by a
productive.
train?
That's not a productive day.
I have never seen anything like that in my life.
I pray I never do ever
I'm
again.
always nervous
The
like when
pa-
we
like-
go.
She was like a caged animal. Like she
Yeah.
just like what do I do?
I would probably throw up in my car. Just
Her fight or-
watching her, like, in panic.
Her fight or flight was so bad. Like
She had.
it was just.
It was
Yeah,
die.
she had like none of it left, Ian. She's
I know.
probably like 90 years old.
Little do we know that happens to her every morning.
It's her daily routine.
Yeah.
It's
Like, oh,
the
shit.
train
she's
driver's
like,
like,
she's like, coffee just doesn't do it anymore. I need to almost die
Wakes me
every
the
morning.
fuck up.
the train driver's like, God damn it, Gretchen. She's on the freaking tracks again.
We interviewed the train driver. He's like, I slow down every morning because I'm not gonna hit her.
She just lives for the thrill.
One day she came with crutches. I don't know what she was thinking. Holy
She
shit!
progressively adds more complicated. Like
Yeah.
she's on in a jazzy next time. Like
The battery
also-
dies on the tracks.
And we'll get to some hockey eventually. There's also a
it's silly season.
there's also a woman who drives around New Milford in her rascal
yeah.
with her,
Her, like,
daughter,
grandson or something?
I think her daughter or
Yeah.
granddaughter just sitting on her lap.
Yeah, I've seen her a handful of times.
Similar.
That thing moves, though.
Yeah,
Similar situation. Ian has a twin brother who lives in
that's false.
somewhat upstate New York. And I went a couple weeks ago with my twin sister. And it was the day we were coming back to Connecticut, and she was like, "Oh, there's this cool like thrift mall," and we go in, and there is a woman in a jazzy with a French bulldog sitting like on her chest, just watching everything going on. She was
That's weird.
selling like
That's,
old furniture.
that's one of the horsemen of the
And
apocalypse.
I think she was selling a painted portrait of her dog. I don't know if
Oh,
she
yikes.
was doing it herself or if she maybe commissioned it and then didn't like it.
Big yikes.
Who knows?
There was, the other day I went to Walmart, which Walmart's always like its own place. It's
The
crazy.
yeah,
They
the
had
people
a
of
fucking
Walmart.
dunk tank the other day.
For sure.
They did. It was weird.
Anyways, this guy, as we're like walking in, this guy pulls up in his like Jeep he has a handicap thing hanging on his. He's a younger guy, pulls up into like the handicap spot right out front, windows down, playing music, loud enough where surrounding people hear it. We're in the store, 10, 20 minutes or so. Come out, dude's just still sitting there by himself, windows open, playing music. I'm like, what is it? Is this just your gig?
Yeah.
Do you just show up here and just play music?
Yeah. Well, I sit in the handicap spot so other
Right in
people
front of
can't
Walmart?
take them.
And
That's
just try to
really
look
it.
cool and
Yeah, maybe.
maybe he's like waiting for someone. I don't know.
Maybe.
We've all sat in our cars for a little too long.
I did that today
Sure.
at Cumberland Farms because I had to pull over because I won I didn't win. I was picked for the Jersey Finder giveaway, and the eBay auction ended
Giveaway,
at a giveaway
Yeah, I
the
gotcha.
mystery jersey.
Yeah, I gotcha.
You still have to win the auction,
Yeah.
but I pulled over because I wasn't gonna make it home in time, and I still lost. It was a cool San Jose Sharks
Shame.
jersey. It would have been awesome, but
Was it blank?
it was blank. It was one of their
That's like a
originals, their original like CCM ones. It would have been sick. I love CCM jerseys. We gotta have that guy on the show.
We could.
He loves jerseys. We love jerseys. It's perfect.
We have too many jerseys.
He's a Rangers fan. He likes Capo Caco.
True.
You like Capo Caco.
Oh my god.
We have so
That's
much to
gonna
talk
happen.
about.
Capo.
You're a
Caco.
wow.
That
I'm so glad this is recorded on camera.
was for all of them.
Get you a guy who looks at you like Ian looks at me with
Or like the Macarena player.
unblinking snake eyes.
That was
I was a
an inside joke.
mariachi player, yeah.
Mariachi, thank
Mariachi,
you.
yeah.
Close
We
enough.
just got back from dinner from the place. So we always are like, well, where do we go for dinner? We always end up going to Hacienda
the
Don
best.
Manuel. It's a very nice
It's the best.
Authentic
Mexican restaurant.
Mexican restaurant. And
And-
mariachi band comes up to you and asks, "Would you like us to sing a song?"
I don't,
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't like the Macharat. I don't like them.
Then why do you tell them yes every time?
Because I can't tell them no.
I know. I
They're
feel that.
so nice.
I feel that.
Did he have grills?
Yeah,
He
he
had
had something
grills.
interesting
Yeah,
going
dude.
on with his teeth.
That was
I
dope.
know when we were like getting ready to leave, I was gonna be like, nah, like we're about to leave, but then I
Yeah.
don't know. He sang us a song anyways.
Yeah.
He
Do
asked
we
me
have to
what
give
my
him
name
money?
was.
I don't hope not.
No,
thought
he
me-
just
I
he
hope
wanted
not.
a fist bump and he goes about his life. He's living the dream.
He thought me and Trevor were
Hope so.
dating.
Yeah,
Because
he's
we were
like
sitting-
he goes
it's
he
because
goes
we
to
were
Trevor.
sitting
He's like,
across from each
"Is
other.
this your girl?" And they were both like, "What?" And I was like, "No,
And
us."
I had half a mind to go,
Good
"I
thing
know
you
nobody's
speak
girl."
Spanish.
Yeah, no, it wasn't even like no, she's mine. It was just like, dude, I gotta save these two. This is gonna be bad.
Right? I know.
There was some hockey stuff that happened this week. Not a lot that's gonna happen because the summer's boring. It's not like the NBA where they just trade shit like crazy.
Dude,
You see that?
there was like first round picks in like
Yeah.
2026.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Someone was like, the Kawhi nonsense seems like it happened at like the dawn of time now
Right?
compared to everything else that's happened.
2026, like the rapture happened, like who knows when? Like we won't even be here.
One was a trade that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for one team and looks like an absolute robbery for another team. The Buffalo Sabres trade Alex Nylander to the Chicago Blackhawks for Henry Jokiharju.
Great name.
Good, how are you?
I've also heard it Henry Jokiharju. So the jury's still out on that one. Because my brain is full of dumb bullshit, the first thing I thought was, that's interesting. Alex Nylander was drafted by the Sabres when the draft was in Buffalo. Jokiharju was drafted by Chicago when the draft was in Chicago.
Wow.
And I
that's
forgot
cool.
some sort of like math thing at the same time. So,
Yeah.
I
I really wanted there to be one of those fake Leafs insider accounts to be like, Nylander to Chicago.
well, someone posted on the Steve Dangle subreddit. They said Nylander traded, and I was like, "What the fuck's wrong with you? Why would you do that to us?"
It's great.
I mean, Nylander hasn't really looked good at all in the AHL, and that's where he spent most
Which
of his
one?
time so far. Alex.
Okay.
William Nylander's an NHL regular.
Yes, we know.
He's a
We
very
know,
good player in this
but
league.
yeah.
Alex Nylander hasn't really done very well in the AHL at all,
Yeah.
and Henry Jokiharju is already playing regular minutes in the NHL. And he's a big defenseman. Those are typically very well liked.
We like big boys.
And I think he's right-handed too.
Bitty, bitty boys.
So, I mean, it just looks like a steal for Chicago or for Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Stan Bowman has traded every single Chicago Blackhawks first-round pick since like 2011.
That's what the Rangers did for a while.
I'm gonna pull up the list because I want to. I don't remember. And
Buffalo is also paying freaking Jeff Skinner like $9 million for how many years? I don't even know.
8.
I really like
8.
Jeff Skinner.
God, oh my God, that's so much money.
It is a lot of money for him.
$2 million more, you can get freaking Panarin.
Stan Bowman has now traded every one of his first-round picks from 2011 to 2017. Mark McNeil in 2011, I would imagine. Philip Deneau, what up?
These are who they drafted?
Yeah, and these are
who those picks became.
Teuvo Teravainen, they had to trade to Carolina in order to dump Brian Bickle's salary in Carolina. Ryan Hartman was traded to Nashville for another first-round pick, so it was just kicking the can down the road. Nick Schmaltz went to Arizona for Dylan Strome. That one turned out really well. Dylan Strome came in and looked really good. And then Henry Jokiharju.
Bye-bye.
I just kind of wonder what he's thinking. Like, I don't know if... I guess
they're not rebuilding, really?
The defense doesn't seem to be their position of strength. They're in no position to be dealing away young defensemen at all.
Right.
Keith is, just about done.
It's like, I hear some people trying to say that the Canadiens should include Victor Mete in a deal to get something. And I say, why would you even consider that?
That would not be mint.
It wouldn't. It'd be so unmint.
Unmint.
Unless you're, upgrading that position. Like Mete and picks
But
to upgrade
even
that.
then, you'd like to have all of them. You need numbers on the left side of defense if you're Montreal. Same thing for Chicago. They have, 1 or 2 good defensemen. We're fine. Duncan Keith is fine. He could still play 80 minutes a night.
Chicago is a team that tends to rest on their laurels a bit.
Well, and they love getting the gang back together, right?
We got the band back together.
They traded for Saad and got him back.
We're going to let you guys do all
Shaw.
the work in developing this player.
Yeah.
We'll just take them back when you're done.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. Shaw was too much money for them a little while ago, and now that they've gotten rid of Hossa and some other contracts like Hjalmarsson, they're able to say, oh, yeah, you can come back. Saad is still not very good and still not worth that. I guess Shaw is worth his contract. Close to $4 million. That's okay.
This is really good for the television.
It's 20 to 9.
I'm so sorry.
So. Did you just yawn?
Not
You're
really. I controlled it, though.
Fighting it so hard.
I didn't yawn because I'm a sociopath.
You're not wrong.
I don't know. It just seems like a weird trade that... Mm-hmm. It seems like a trade Mark Bergevin would try to make because 1-for-1s are his deal.
Jam and jelly.
And trades that don't make much sense.
I mean, that's neither here nor there.
Oh, okay.
Do you think it's something else going on in the background for Chicago?
I think it's more something in the background going on for Buffalo. It looks like Buffalo's going to try to trade Ristolainen, and it makes sense because they're adding a bunch of defensemen, and they're probably going to flip Ristolainen for a forward. That's just what I can gather as far as roster construction. But whether or not that actually comes to fruition is another thing.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of teams want Rasmus Ristolainen, to be honest. What else happened this week? Anything? That's it. That's the show. 20 minutes long.
Matt Cullen retired? I don't know if you have any Matt Cullen stories. I don't.
I don't, but he's now... That makes Chara the oldest player in the league.
Wow.
I saw that.
By just a couple... I guess he was less than a year older than Chara. That's Cullen. Just a guy playing for that long. Crazy. And for that many teams. He's got 3 cups. I think it was 3 cups. I think he won 2 with Pittsburgh and 1 with Carolina.
That's crazy.
And Carolina he escaped Minnesota. That's impressive. A lot of times people go there and they never leave.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Zuccarello. I don't know. I don't really have much on Matt Cullen. Cool. Everyone it's a testament to him as a player when he retired and everyone was like, wow, this guy's great.
Yeah.
Good for him.
I agree. LeBlanc, is it? For the Sharks?
Kevin Labanc.
Labanc, thank you.
Who's not going to Labanc.
Joey.
What the fuck was that contract? Yeah, he was a 56-point player last year. And he gets 1 by 1.
He's making almost as much as Capo Caco.
Basically. Jack Hughes is making
56
just
points.
About as much on his entry-level deal once you take into his performance bonuses that he's going to hit.
He was -1, though.
Oh, shove it up your ass.
9 points in 20 playoff games.
That's ridiculous.
Also -7 in the playoffs.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Signs a contract for $1 million.
And the idea is that...
Crazy.
So on a 1-year deal like that, you can start negotiating an extension on January 1st. The idea is that there's already a contract in the top drawer of his desk. And on January 1st, he's going to sign it.
Is that not against the rules?
Oh, it's absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's the problem is we've entered this sort of,
gray area, like
we've opened Pandora's box as far as like violating free agency rules. No one is supposed to negotiate contract numbers during the courting period. It's not a negotiated period. I almost said it was because it basically is.
I enjoy that it's called the courting period.
That's really funny.
And then oh wow, right at noon on July 1st, all of these contracts are signed. That's crazy. I can't believe they figured that out in 30 seconds. Like,
that's true. And the numbers are coming out like before that day.
Yeah.
Like all the insiders are tweeting like what contracts will look like. It's hilarious.
It's a farce. That's to say that I don't care if they negotiate term.
But make it.
What does it matter?
Rules.
Right.
Yeah. Allow it.
Stop making it seem like, oh, that's not what's going on here. It absolutely is. It's fine. Don't be a dick about it. That's all.
Yeah.
Fair point. Yeah. Just thought that was funny. That was a contract that everyone was like, just amazed that it happened for so little.
Nothing on Mitch Marner.
No.
Nothing on Patrick Laine. Nothing on Mikko Rantanen. Nothing on Braden Point.
We can talk about the AHL app. Whoever runs the AHL app just going banana lands.
Steven has.
Yeah,
I have the screenshots.
Yeah, so why don't you? So if you had the AHL app installed beforehand, first of all, why? Second of all, you were treated to. I hope you had push notification on.
This is the why.
I hope you had your notifications running.
So there was just around, I think it was like in the morning. I don't even know what day.
It was.
But some morning, the AHL app just started sending push notifications like on your phone. I don't know what order they're in, but one of them was Stuart Zimmel threatened to punch Ian Bowman in the throat. And then just like there's an error message, like there's an error with this app.
There's a very good chance that a teacher in middle school probably called me Ian Bowman. But
that's a good chance.
That's neither here nor there.
It's like the B version of you.
Yeah, I am the B version of me, so thank you so much.
And then there's some other ones that go out that's like, Stuart Zimmel, since I have no way to contact you,
Stuart Zimmel,
you owe me nearly $6,000. I would ask you to contact me about payment. Also, I'm filing a workplace report against you for threatening to punch. It goes on and on. There's just like a couple, same thing.
Yeah.
Just the same report keeps going out, and Stuart, they're coming for you.
Who knows what Stuart?
Yeah. So apparently, the app developer was upset that he wasn't being paid for his work.
So Ian worked as a freelancer for the company that Steven is now the CCO or CEO of.
Mm-hmm.
I always get this
cool.
mixed up. The Q. And Ian left after the app was made, apparently. This is all from people sleuthing on like LinkedIn and shit.
Well, there's a story on The Athletic about about the whole happening, because I actually interviewed the people involved.
It actually just looks like it says aesthetic.
Yeah, he's the CEO of Hockey Tech.
The Pathetic. I'm going to edit this shirt so it says The Pathetic on it now.
I'm going to put sparkles over that.
Yeah. I don't know. If you have the AHL app installed before any of this, you're a cop. That's just what I'm saying. Honestly, like, you couldn't wait to get your news on the Laval Rocket.
But also, like, pay your developers, though.
Definitely
pay your fucking freelancers, though.
Yeah.
You know?
I do.
Sean Sharpo tweeted out about
Sean Shapiro,
sure. Yeah,
and he's the one who works for The Athletic who wrote a story about the whole thing.
Sure. The Rockford Ice Hogs, who I believe are Chicago's farm team, wrote back to them saying, "We're very anti-throat punch over here, so we're willing to host a car wash to help raise this $6,000."
Yeah. That's funny. What else we got?
Let's see what else I wrote down. I write things down on occasion.
There's just been nothing this summer.
I have women's hockey news.
Yeah?
Sure.
So 2 things. First piece of news is great for us.
Hell yeah.
Oh, true.
The Connecticut Whale of the National Women's Hockey League has moved from their location in, is it Niantic?
No, they were in Stamford.
They're
at Terry Connor's ice rink in Stamford. Literally on the Sound.
Yeah. To Danbury, Connecticut, which is about like 30 minutes away from us. But more importantly, I believe it is a higher capacity arena.
The website
And-
says... Now, we've all been in there.
Yeah.
No, wait.
Yeah.
You weren't joking when you said 3,000?
No, that's like the confirmed maximum
Okay,
capacity.
there's-
of that arena.
there is-
Yeah.
Maybe the whole building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've all been in there. There's zero fucking chance 3,000 pizzas. 3,000
Let's go.
3,000 people have ever sat in there. There's also zero chance that 3,000 pizzas have sat in there,
Maybe
but that's
it's
not what
both.
I meant.
Maybe in both rinks combined, but
Yeah,
I know there
like
isn't
the
seating
whole.
in the other rink.
Not
Is there?
really. There's like
No,
a
there's
little
like there's
bit.
like one set of risers,
Yeah.
but
There's like another.
it's a
But-
fine place to see a hockey game. Like it
And
doesn't
there's-
suck.
Sure,
There's
it's not a bad
pretty
seat.
strong, like pre-established hockey community there in Danbury. Like
Yeah,
there are
somewhat.
loyal fans.
They played a game there years ago.
No, the Whale didn't. It was the Buttes and the Riveters playing.
Yeah, Ian.
No. The Riveters didn't play that game.
Yeah, Kristen. Duh.
That was the Buttes
I
and the
don't know.
Whales and the Whale.
Oh,
100%.
I wore my Fujimoto jersey and
Yeah.
we saw
Jenny
Jenny
Scrivens was there
Scrivens there.
because she was working for the
That's
league.
how.
What was I doing that day that I didn't go?
I don't remember.
Damn, I wish you guys remembered. For some reason, I
was
didn't go,
also-
and it wasn't because you guys didn't invite me. I'm pretty sure. At
That's
least that's how I remember it.
Oh, and there
It
were
was also
dogs there.
There was
Yeah.
it was sponsored by Dunkin'
It was
Donuts.
dogs and donuts.
Dogs and donuts.
Yeah, I didn't
People
go for
brought
some
their
reason. I
fucking
forget why.
dogs to the arena. It was great.
Maybe I was on vacation. Maybe.
Yeah, so that's
That's very
really
likely.
cool. We'll probably get to a lot of those games.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited.
The news was announced, and Kristen was like, "How much are season tickets?"
Yeah,
And I
no,
was
like,
like,
legitimately.
probably too much, but we should also go to a
Because
lot
there
of
are like
games.
18. Well, now they're upping the games per season to I think 24.
Yeah, but
Oh,
that's
that's it?
12 home
What?
games.
Yeah.
That's sick.
12 home games. You're probably paying $100 for a
Yeah.
season ticket,
Probably.
That's not bad.
and they play like Sunday and Saturday afternoons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad, but you
No.
might as well just buy
It's
single game.
right
Yeah.
off of a metro line. Like the
What?
yeah,
Like the train station.
The arena and the
No
train
one's using it
station.
for that. You
I
sound,
don't know.
you know, you sound like WestCon right now. You sound like Western Connecticut
Okay.
State University.
People
Still in
from
Connecticut,
New
but
Haven-
close enough to New York.
People from New Haven or from New York can come in.
They're not taking
And
the
see-
train to Danbury,
We
Connecticut
drove
to see a hockey
the
game.
Prudential Center
Yeah,
to go see a Riveters game.
yeah. They're
Yeah,
not.
I feel like driving.
They'll
is a lot
drive.
better
They're
than-
not going to take the train.
Whatever.
No one uses
Maybe.
that.
There might. I'll give you. There might be like one person who's like really close
I
to
know-
both train stations.
I know that one of my Twitter mutuals is a women's hockey fan, and one of the reasons why she is concerned about next season is because the Riveters are leaving the Prudential Center, and that's hard enough to get to for someone who doesn't have a car and lives in the city.
Yeah.
But
Do they not have a?
Maybe.
Do they not have a home yet? I didn't know that they were leaving the Prudential Center.
they are.
Or more specifically, the Barnabas
Well, because
Health Hockey
their
Center or whatever
partnership
it is.
with the Devils
Yeah.
isn't there anymore.
Yeah, they got to figure this shit out.
Another sad thing is that the Buttes are most likely, this is per my favorite NWHL source,
Reporter.
Melissa Burgess. She's also
Sources.
she's from Buffalo. She
Confirmed.
she works for she writes on the Buttes and everything. And she believes that since the Pagulas have
That's a funny thing.
like
Yeah, they've
cut ties
essentially
with,
they've rid themselves of the team, but they still feel they own the trademark. They have no ownership
Yeah.
over the roster, the organization, but they still want the name and the logo. They
So
still
since-
feel like they own that.
Since that has happened, she does not believe that they're going to play in the Harbor Center anymore.
I mean, it's possible they could just rent.
They haven't.
They can lease it out to them.
None of the Harbor Center hasn't put out anything about their games for next season. And
Sure, they're probably
the
not.
schedules are coming
I'm
out
not,
soon.
but I'm not. The schedule's coming out soon. They don't have rosters right now.
Yeah,
No one's signed to play
It's
for the
rough.
Riveters at the
it's
moment.
a rough spot.
You know, most of the teams don't have goalies. Like, don't buy a jersey right now if it has a name and number on the back. It's not going to be worth anything.
Or if the Buttes are changing names, now might be the best time for you to buy a Buttes jersey because they'll be clearing them out for the new one.
Yeah, but my point is, like, with the for the game movement still happening and no end in sight to the player holdout that might not be a holdout but is also a holdout.
Yeah.
Everything is in flux for this league, and it wouldn't surprise me if like 3 weeks away from the start of the season, they got all this together. Like, oh, we have a rink to play in. Oh, we have rosters again.
I have to find the...
Oh, boy.
Melissa Burgess tweeted, "Through my research, I've discovered that it appears the Buffalo team will not be playing at Harbor Center next season. A tentative schedule that had been in place on the rink scheduling system with games beginning 10-5 and through February now has no trace of NWHL games at all. At this point, I don't have further info regarding this move, whose decision it may have been, or where the team could end up playing. All I can say is there were games listed in there a few days ago, and now they're gone. So it appears that Buffalo's NWHL team would get a new home."
Which would be a real blow because, like, we went down there,
It's
up
far
there.
more believable that Harbor Center could fit 3,000 people. Also,
Absolutely. Maybe they just have a low expectation of what 3,000 is, or a really high expectation
Maybe,
of
I
what
don't
3,000 is. But that arena is great.
It's super cool.
It's a cozy little arena, but also it's in the middle of downtown Buffalo still.
Yeah.
It's in the same complex as this where the Sabres and the Bandits of the lacrosse league where they play.
Yeah.
You've been there just a boot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go down to Buffalo to watch Leafs play because gas is cheap. But fuck, they don't even sell all dressed chips in that shithole. That's not true anymore. They all sell all dressed chips. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the team in Danbury.
I am too because the women's league is really, really good hockey.
It is.
It's
and that's the best
super
hockey
fast.
that will have touched
Absolutely.
since the last time the NWHL played there.
Since I played a pickup game there once several years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Everything with women's hockey is in flux at the moment. Like I wouldn't until the players know.
Sell.
Yeah, until the players know what's happening. Like everything's in a holding pattern.
Yeah.
I don't blame the Pagulas for trying to keep the only thing on that team that's valuable at the moment, which is the logo and the name, which they might want to hold on to in case the NHL makes their own women's league.
Here's the thing, though. The NWHL came out with that name and with that logo far before the Pagulas had ownership in it.
Yeah, and then they purchased the team, and they probably own it now.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. It's a tough situation.
Yeah.
It's a tough sell as far as... I think the Pagulas are smart for trying to retain control of that when it's the only thing at the moment that might have value to them. You know?
Does it have value when there are no players playing for it?
The team doesn't. But they're holding on to the idea, and it doesn't surprise me that they pulled out of their partnership and the Devils pulled out of their partnership right when there's rumors that the NHL might be trying to get involved. Because their loyalty as entities are to the National Hockey League.
Right, but like the idea of a league made by the NHL is just an idea at this point.
Right.
So it's not valuable.
It's not valuable, but they have to believe in some capacity that there's no chance that this NWHL thing is a sustainable thing. None of the players are going to play. None of the top tier players are going to play in a league next year.
Yeah. Another NWHL thing. This is another good one, so we're going to end on a good note. The Tampa Bay Lightning has become an NWHL ambassador, but not in a sense of them being ambassadors to an NWHL team, but they're committing to supporting girls hockey in the Tampa Bay area and doing like camps for like girls hockey, which is cool.
That's
cool. Yeah.
I mean, it's Florida, so...
Yeah, I mean...
Florida.
It's tough to find rinks down there, I would imagine. What else you got?
The only other thing I've written down is something I was late at night just like listening to hockey podcasts and something I thought of. So I write... I'm an ideas guy. I write my ideas down. It's such a pain, though, when I'm like about to fall asleep and I come with a good idea and now I got to go find my phone, like write it down. But so I was listening to whatever podcast where they were talking about how... You know, like the expensive teams, like rich teams, you know, have trouble affording all their players because of the hard cap. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of debate on whether people like the hard cap or should there be, like, you know, you pay an extra tax to go over it. But something I came up with was, how about if you...
I already hate it.
if like, players you drafted you can like maybe you can pay them their salary, but they have like maybe like a 90% cap hit. So you get players you drafted and are still with the team maybe, so you can't reacquire them, have like 10% less cap hit. Because then it would benefit teams to sign players that they draft, and also like you maybe can overpay them or because you have that cut. And
I like the idea in the sense that it allows teams to get more creative. However, it then completely stops movement around the league.
Yeah, I guess it does.
Yes, because a player that you're acquiring is now more expensive to you than to the team that just had it. And it gives teams no incentive to trade away players and get players they didn't draft.
I agree with that. It does.
You know?
It gives you too much of a benefit to keep players, whereas maybe you want trades to happen.
Now, the NBA has the bird rule, which is, I'm pretty sure anyway, with players that you drafted, you're allowed to go over the salary cap if it's to sign a player that you drafted.
I like that
to keep them on your team.
Oh, that's interesting.
I like that idea.
I wonder, and then you could just say 5%.
The problem is like then you can pay the Carl Alsners of the world $6 million, and they'd be like, well, we have to go over the cap to pay our fourth line forward league minimum. They're like, oh, sorry, that's the way it works. There's no way to really quantify what's putting you over the salary cap.
I guess so, but at the same point, it hurts you next year when there's other, say you have players next year coming that aren't drafted by you, and now you can't go over, but you're still paying this guy too much.
Yeah, you can't. It limits you in the free agent market.
Yeah, and just if you're re-signing people next year, like you have to re-sign contracts. But I do like that rule because it doesn't limit you, but it also allows you some flexibility. I don't see it being used like terribly often, but
I think. Oh, my mom texted me.
Ian texts his mom.
Dick. I would like to see the NHL adapt some more NBA rules, particularly their contract maximums. I want to make sure I have the number right. I'm pretty sure. I can't fucking swipe text. I hate it. I'm just trying.
You always love swipe texting.
Typically, but not all the time. Come on. I can't figure it out. I'm pretty sure it's 5 years. I'm pretty sure the highest contract you can sign in the NBA is a 5-year deal, and that's only if you're staying with your current team. Otherwise, it's a 4-year deal. That's the max you can sign. I'd kind of like that because it saves NHL general managers from themselves who give out stupid contracts.
Like the Shea Weber. I mean, granted, the NHL has changed
the
rules now, but
13-year deals that... It's did we talk about the Luongo cap recapture? And how I think it's absolute horseshit?
I don't think so.
I don't think we did.
It's bullshit. And I talked about it on Twitter, and people were like, no, you're wrong. I'm not wrong. And I'll tell you why I'm not wrong, because Elliot Friedman agrees with me. And that's why I'm not wrong. That's the end of the show.
That's it.
So the cap recapture, the two contracts that are really famous that it will apply to if they retire early, one of which already did in Roberto Luongo, the other being Shea Weber. The team that signed that contract, in the case of Luongo, Vancouver, is hit with a recapture penalty because he retired before the contract was over. And because those contracts were signed in a way that at the time was entirely legal, completely legal contract,
Sure. Mm-hmm.
But it was very front-loaded in the sense that he made all of his money at the beginning of the contract so that at the end, when he retires early, it doesn't hurt the team as much.
Right.
The NHL, in the lockout, years later, I want to say Luongo's contract was signed in like 2009, and then the lockout happened in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
The NHL in that lockout said, okay, all of those contracts, if those guys retire early, you get hit with cap recapture penalties. It's double jeopardy. You're being punished for something that was completely legal at the time. I guess that's not double jeopardy, but you get the idea.
This is Jeopardy.
They're punishing the Canucks for
doing
signing a legal contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that is dumb.
I hate it. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
That's why they changed the rules, I guess.
And I was completely expecting the league to go, when Luongo retired, we're waiving the cap recapture penalty. Because it was a paper tiger to begin with. Like, none of it mattered.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be we're going to get you.
Right.
But we already They already pulled one over on you, Gary. They already got you. I don't understand what the point of this was. Anyway,
that is interesting though.
max contracts. That's where I was.
Yeah.
We're already starting to see it.
I like.
How much did Nylander sign for? 6 years. It was essentially 5.5 years because he missed half a season.
Sure.
Yeah.
Matthews was 5.
Matthews is 5. Aho 5.
There's talk of Marner
wants a low term.
Them either doing like 3 or 4 or 6 because they don't want Matthews and Marner at the same time.
That's their idea. I don't know if Marner really gives two shits.
He probably doesn't want 6. So.
Yeah.
I like it. I think the players would like it, right?
I think that I don't know why, and I heard this on the Staff and Graph podcast, which is really great. You should listen to it. Ian Tulloch of The Athletic and Rachel Dory, who I believe also does things for The Athletic. I could be wrong, but Ian Tulloch basically said like this idea in the NHL that season or career-ending injuries exist is false. Name a young player that had a career-ending injury. Can you do it? Like I can't think of a single one.
No. It's usually like older guys like
Carlson got his fucking ankle stepped on and his Achilles slashed and he just made all his money.
Isn't technically an injury?
Who
was it for the Habs that was out with
Tim Bozon. He had meningitis.
Yeah. It's not an injury,
right.
but you know.
But the fact that he's the one, ending. Yeah, but the fact that he's the one you can come. His career hadn't even started. Right. We had no idea what he was going to be.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't you bet on yourself like every 2 years? Sign 2-year contracts.
Yeah.
And keep increasing your value because as the salary cap increases, the percentage of the cap that you can take will go up.
Right.
Keep getting your slice of the pie. Yeah. Even if you keep taking,
just 15% or whatever you're.
Yeah, I don't think you can take.
I think 20% is the max.
20% is the max. I was trying to think of what it was. Even if you're only taking 15%, that's going up every 2 years. You're picking up more money just based on the fact that you are who you are.
Yeah.
So instead of signing one 8-year deal, you've signed 4 2-year deals, and you've increased your payday every time.
Yeah. Also, I think teams can give more money on shorter, at least the way that it's set up now.
There's an appetite to do that.
Sure, and also the way the system is now, also players typically, there's the stereotype players do really well during their contract year.
Right.
So if you have more contract year, then hopefully the players play better.
It happens far too often for it to be just a coincidence, doesn't it?
For sure.
Like Dale Weiss had the best season of his fucking life, and then he's like, I'm going to go to Philly and get all that money, and then they don't want him anymore because he makes too much money. That's going to happen, but I
Who wouldn't want Dale Weiss? I love him.
Yeah, I love him too. I wonder if it's agents that want these guys signing these big ticket contracts.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's a lot less work.
It's a lot less work,
and
but
then also like they get a cut of it.
They get their cut. But at the same time,
they get their cut.
They're gonna get more of their cut if they just keep betting on themselves. If I'm Mitch Marner, 2-year contracts for the rest of my life. I'm signing 2s. And every 2 years, you gotta pay me.
Do you get like...
As Chris D'Elia would say, back up the Brinks truck every 2 years.
How much does he get in a 2-year contract? Does he still
2-year
ask
deals
for like...
Right now, probably like close to 11, 12 million bucks.
Yeah, if the Leafs can do that. I don't even know if they would have to make other moves.
The thing with that is that walks him right back to restricted free agency. It doesn't take him to unrestricted free agency.
Which the Leafs would like, right?
Right.
So
that's what teams love doing. They love giving you your 3-year entry level and then a 2-year bridge deal.
Yeah.
It's just asset management. You take them right up to their last year of restricted free agency, and then you have a pretty good idea of who the player is at that point, because at that point they're 25, 26 years old. And you know what their value is.
Yeah.
You can pay them, or you can trade their rights to, recoup some assets.
Yeah.
You'd also think... Sorry.
No worries. I was just going to say, just keep signing 2-year deals until you're like 33, and then sign 8.
Yeah.
And then finish.
You'd also think that, like, say, with a team like the Leafs, like, all of your young superstars get on the train where they're going to sign 2-year contracts. And then you stagger them so that you're not doing Nylander, Matthews, Marner every year. Or, like, at the same time every time,
It's interesting. I don't understand why they don't bet on themselves more. I wonder if they're really all that worried about injury.
Yeah.
How
maybe.
worried can you
but,
be?
like,
It's not even. I feel like it's not even career ending. But if you miss a season,
right.
that would. I
Or
feel like screw you.
you go from
Would
like
it?
I think it would hurt your value in terms
Yeah.
of
Carey
signing
Price
your
has
next
missed like
contract.
2 full seasons over the last 4 years. Mark Bergevin said, okay,
Yeah.
10.5. Here you go.
But I mean, we've also talked about players where maybe it's not a career-ending injury, but we've mentioned players where it's like, well, they could have had potential to be better and like be,
I
a
think
really good player, and then they get injured, and then they're plagued by injury.
I think this
you
only
know?
really matters for like the high end guys who walk into a negotiation and say, "I'm Eric fucking Carlson.
Yeah.
What up?
And then
My
they're like,
my number's 11." Like
the
that's what they
GM
do.
The GM's like, your knees are fucking broken though. Like,
Yeah, he's like, "Okay, 12," and they're like, "Deal."
Yeah.
Honestly, like everyone was so concerned about Eric Carlson's health, and then San Jose like
Yeah.
moved the moon and the stars to keep him.
Yeah.
Why? Because he's Eric Carlson. He's really good at hockey.
Yeah.
Well, he's injury prone. Yeah, the game's violent. That'll happen.
Did you see? Not to change the subject.
No, we can move on
Okay.
off of this.
Did you see the videos of Panarin and Bobrovsky
Dude, so
dancing
funny.
in Russia?
Yeah, I was like, they're
Awesome.
dancing for 2 reasons. All that money they got, don't gotta live in Ohio anymore.
I just
Panarin
love
was
that they're still
practicing
friends.
His, Rockettes kicks for when he was.
Bob was doing one of those
Bob
like.
is crazy
one of those,
flexible,
like,
which I
pump
expected,
things.
but like,
He's also just so tall and lanky.
Yeah.
dude, his legs were like, just don't
I mean,
stop.
how
Like,
tall is
they-
Panarin? Like 6? He's probably 6 foot, close to
He's
it.
up there.
Bobrovsky was looking down at his forehead, like tall dude.
I like big boys.
It was a really funny video. If you haven't seen it, look it up. Oh, Panarin's only 5'11". Wow.
Okay, he's not even 6 foot.
Bob's 6'2".
Short
so that
king.
makes sense.
Short king, go off.
Please make that the title.
As a 5'11" person myself,
Short King go off.
Sure.
6
can
foot
go
on
off.
a good day.
yeah.
I don't know. What else you got?
I have
Oh,
some
jeez.
stuff. Not related to hockey, but sports
Okay.
related.
Oh yeah, you did ask. You did tell me not to go look this up.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
So, the MLB is trying out some new rules.
Okay.
One of them, the most controversial one, being the ability to steal first base.
I was talking to a coworker about this today.
Fuck, you saw it.
I did see it.
It's any pitch
So
on
for
any count.
This
not
isn't in Major
caught.
League Baseball, by the way. It's not in Major League Baseball yet. It's
Yeah.
in the Atlantic League.
They're trying it out.
Right. It's in Single A or Double A, whatever those.
Yeah.
One of those developmental leagues.
Farm circuit.
I don't know how much that'll happen. Essentially, you can only steal on a pitch that like got away from them.
Any pitch on any count not caught in flight is live, and a
Right.
batter can run to first base. So, like, if a catcher doesn't
If he
catch
fumbles
the
it
pitch,
or the pitch goes wild.
you just fucking go for it.
So I'm up at bat. Trevor's pitching. Chris, you're the catcher.
Yes.
Trevor sails one to the backstop.
I didn't even throw it yet.
In
Let
the
him-
Trevor's winding up. He threw it. That was it hitting the backstop.
Wow.
Kristen,
My
Thank
ears.
Kristen, you turn around to go get it. I look, and I hesitate, and I go, and I
wait,
start to
hold on.
run, but then I'm like, no, I'm going back.
Hold on.
Oh,
Hold on.
What happens?
Hold on.
Does that
Hold
count?
on. Hold on. I'm ready.
It's a Buttes hat. That's gonna be an antique. You watch it.
Yeah.
You were the pitcher. You were wearing it fine.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't have a hat on actually.
Oh, okay. I wonder how far you can get before you have to go or you're out. I wonder if it's just you have to leave the box.
Yeah.
Where's my pine tar?
I've
Someone-
talked about how I was an umpire, right?
Yes.
I think I've got that up.
I don't
You've
think
given,
so. It's
like,
been a
horror
while.
Stories,
Yeah.
I think.
If you
haven't
have, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Ian was an umpire.
The other
He
was,
knows
and
all
I know
the
what the
rules.
other one is, but what's the other rule that they tried
Oh.
out?
I don't know any
Well,
of
no,
this.
I
so-
didn't. This isn't. This is
You
still
didn't
about stealing on.
Oh, okay,
First.
so continue with that, and then there was another thing they tried out, which I'm all for.
Someone replied, "I'm there for the first time a batter does this, and the runner already on first doesn't budge."
See, now the rule with the rule with I can't think of it. So you could already kind of steal first base on a drop third strike.
Yes.
The rule when I was an umpire was that if first base is occupied,
You can do it with first base occupied.
hold on.
I'm sorry.
Whoa.
If first base is occupied, the only way the batter can start taking off is if the runner on first has already vacated or is making an attempt to vacate first base. Other than that, they can't run. So I wonder how much that's... I don't think that's going to change baseball all that much.
No, a lot of purists are like,
I don't care about the pure... Baseball needs some change. But
Yeah.
I don't know if that's where that change comes from. Can we talk about the Derby?
The Derby.
Did you watch the Home Run Derby, Trevor?
No.
Dude, it was so kick-ass.
I saw you talking about it, and I was like...
You want to know why, Trevor? Because dingers are sick. That's why.
Yeah, I don't know. I should have...
That's on the other rule I think that you were talking about.
Yeah, so the Atlantic League also tried out robot umps.
Yes, that's the one.
Did it work?
So, essentially, there's still a home plate umpire that stands behind home plate, and the call is fed to him through a headset. Mm-hmm. It's a robot reading the strike zone, making a call. They need the human back there still because the machine isn't good. Like, if the ball bounces off the ground and then back up into the strike zone, it'll still call it a strike.
Oh, that's
So they need the human back there to go, no, that's not right. But it's really good and it's consistent everywhere else.
Yeah.
That's the important part.
The consistency.
Yeah. Maybe not in every aspect of sports. I think, ideally you want it, but the human element is what makes sports. But at least in, like, strike zones...
That has to be consistent everywhere.
There's certain aspects where you really do need consistency.
And you can't argue with a machine.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Like, if the machine goes, it's a strike, you're like, nah.
Yeah, he goes to strike.
You tip your cap to the machine. You're like,
Can you recount?
you got me.
Good start.
I've been had.
My mom, when she first came to view the new place.
I thought you were about to say
America.
When my mom first came to America.
When
So
mom
I was
first
like,
came to
your mom's from
America,
New Rochelle. What the
when
fuck
she
you talking
was born
about?
in New Rochelle, we were in here watching baseball. I think it was a Yankees game.
Yeah, I had a Yankee game on just because.
She hasn't watched baseball in so long that she was surprised that they have the little strike zone.
On the TV,
She's
yeah.
like, wow, is that the strike zone? I was like, yeah.
And she's like watching, she's like, ball, that wasn't even close. I was like, she's into it.
Mary Ann.
She's the only person on the world who's into this Rays Yankees game.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's interesting, though.
If you're interested in watching umpires be just, I don't even know what the word is.
Replaced?
No,
Robotic?
they're just big babies in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
John Boy Media on YouTube. He breaks down every single like ejection that happens. And he like reads their lips and says what they're saying.
I was gonna say I saw that
There's
video.
hot mics.
video.
He like picks up on hot mics and he like it's awesome. He's so good at it.
That's
And it's like a digital catalog of umpires just being big babies. It's hilarious. The home run derby was awesome.
Yeah.
The NHL needs an event like that. I don't know what it is. Because the All-Star Skills Competition is cool. It's not the home run derby.
Yeah.
Like,
Next year I have to watch it. Remind me.
so much fun. I'll have you over. It was rad.
Sweet.
If it wasn't on a Monday night this year, I probably would have had people over. But
I tweeted about this, but I just appreciate baseball as a sport for thick boys. You know?
oh yeah,
And all of them in the home. There was not a skinny boy in sight.
no, Vlad Guerrero Jr. is thick, and like he put everything he had into every swing too.
Yeah.
Like he was mic'd up, and every swing was like, tuh. Like he was just like grunting.
Yeah.
Especially he hit 91 home runs, and he didn't even win.
How many pitches did they face?
So, it used to be you had 10 outs per round.
They have an actual person throwing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they get to pick who throws the ball to them.
Do they do? It's just like a fastball, like you just put it down the plate.
Yeah, it's BP. It's batting practice.
Okay.
So they're not trying to make it hard on them.
No, that's what I figured. I mean,
But I mean, the guys are the batter will tell their pitcher, like Bryce Harper always has his dad throw to him. Just
what?
cool.
That's
Yeah,
so
you
cool.
can just have anyone you want throw to you.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You better get someone some like endurance. Like, dude, throwing 91 balls.
That's
like
the
that'd
thing.
be like.
So-
dude, I'm not making it to the plate after like 20.
who was it? Was it Pete Alonso? No, it wasn't Pete Alonso. It was someone else. Someone else had their dad throw to them. Oh, you know who it was? Kristen Yelich is like one of the best players in the league right now. He stepped out at the last second, so they just had to bring on some other guy, and he had his dad throw to him, and he didn't do very well. Like he was out in like the first round because he was just like, "What do I do?" You know?
Yeah, it sucks.
They were put in a really tough spot. But yeah, it's timed. So you have like, I think it's like 2 minutes, maybe. Yeah, I think it's 2 minutes or so. And if you hit 2 home runs over 440 feet, you get an extra bonus round at the end of 30 seconds.
That's right.
It's awesome because it takes into, you want to hit as many as possible, but also hit some long balls so that you can get more time.
That is
They
interesting.
really made that event so much fun.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's super fun.
The All-Star game can still go fuck itself, but the rest of it's cool.
What would be the equivalent? Because like it has to be something where it whittles down players to like the best of the best.
The only thing in the NHL skills competition
like a breakaway?
No, the only thing that really works, that really, the hardest shot.
Yeah.
That's the only event that has like that much pull to it.
But also,
because it's just guys going up there with brute force and pounding the puck as hard as they can.
It doesn't have the intrigue and like the excitement that a home run
watching
has.
a dinger leave the stadium.
Exactly.
Of course it doesn't.
Exactly.
We'll never have that.
Maybe like, I mean, for me, watching fastest skater is the most exciting.
It's cool
To see like.
It was even funnier when they made goalies do it. Tim Thomas went around the corner, bailed, and fucking went into the wall. I think I solved it though. The host city of the All-Star game has to also have a baseball stadium, and they just go and they do their own home run derby. Shea Weber wins every year. We move on.
Shea Weber.
Did you see him hit those dingers in that that softball tournament?
It was like the fucking baseball scene in Twilight.
Dude, those never... So, a few days later, well, I think it was like a week or so later, they had the earthquakes.
Ball touched the ground?
They had the earthquakes in California, and like we found out what it was. Shea Weber's balls finally landed. Just
I think baseball is an easy enough sport. Like, I mean, obviously all the NHL athletes have really good hand-eye. Like, if you're just going to hit home runs, especially if you're just like at batting practice getting easy throws, I think most NHL players could hit a couple home runs.
I saw a video of Jamie Benn hitting a dinger.
I think the Leafs did it before this season.
Yeah.
There's a lot of NHL teams that have.
Oh, we have Beth gave us 2 talking points, so we haven't gotten to. We have to talk about Gritty and his new pet Claude. Did you see this, Trevor?
Apparently not.
Gritty's on vacation on the Jersey Shore.
I saw.
As I and Kristen do every year. And
yes.
I lived vicariously through him. He got a hermit crab in New Jersey and named him Claude.
As one does.
I don't even know if there's much else to say there except Gritty. I'm not even a Flyers fan. I don't. Do we have a? Where's my Flyers banner? It's over there. You can't see it. It's off camera. Gritty's the greatest.
Gritty's up there. At first, I didn't like him, but very quickly you come to love Gritty.
You know what it was? Is when Gritty first showed up, the first glimpse we had of him was that gif of him just whipping around, his eyes flying around. Like, what the fuck? And then we learned
it's still a monstrosity, but it's our monstrosity.
We got his personality a little bit more, and we're like, okay, this fits. Like, it makes a lot of sense with how hockey media has gone.
Gritty was truly the start of the chaotic season that was 2019.
This was his first season?
Yeah.
I feel like we've had Gritty forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag
He's
Gritty
done a
forever.
lot.
They didn't get an outdoor. The Flyers didn't get an outdoor game this year, and Gritty's like, I heard it was because I got naked last time. And then the Flyers came back and won that game, and you look at me right now and tell me that Gritty wasn't the reason they came back.
With his fucking belly button.
His purple ass belly button.
People have started calling it his Grussy.
Stop. Don't sexualize Gritty.
It's not sexualized.
What's Grussy mean? What's Grussy mean, Kristen? Yeah?
Jesus.
Go sit outside.
Think about what you've done.
Hey, the Nationals won.
I love Gritty.
What was the other point?
So, Beth has a question.
I have an
This is at Eliza_Beethan of Happy Hour fame.
Frequenter of the show, Beth.
If you had to be the new head coach or the new general manager of an NHL team that has never won a cup and has a long-standing drought, which position would you rather take? Would you rather be the head coach or would you rather be the general manager?
Of a team
that hasn't won a cup in a really long time. Or ever.
GM.
I'm thinking GM too. Because then I go...
I could keep my fucking job as a GM.
It's true. Because you have the trump card of firing your coach first.
Yeah.
Right. You have the get out of jail free. Like, oh, wow.
Definitely.
The coach is like, well, I sent Dale Weiss down to the minors, so I did my part.
I did my...
Yeah,
did my best.
I'm washing my hands of the matter. Plus, I think I'd kind of go like, depending on what team I was taking over, I'd probably go like a little bit like Yarmo and just go chips in, and just try to win immediately. Get some Masai Ujiri, just get yourself a Kawhi Leonard, even though it costs you everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Realistically, it's probably whatever position offers the most money because I'm not keeping that job very long. I mean, unless I'm like, I'm under the assumption I'm going in as I am now. Right?
Yeah.
I don't have any experience. I'm not keeping my general manager job. You know how crazy that'd be?
Yeah. On the other hand, how many times do GMs get recycled around the league?
Often enough.
The answer is
I
yes.
feel like.
The answer is yes. As much as coaches?
Yeah, a lot of like assistant coaches.
Coaches get recycled a fuck ton. And
General managers get recycled even more because there's no other job like it.
Okay.
Coaches at least, like, you can be an AHL coach. You can be, a coach of some other, like a QMJHL team. You could be a coach of another team. Being a general manager in the NHL is unlike anything.
Yeah.
Because,
you can always be an assistant.
In the Q, you have to, you plan for a few years at a time because those guys are gone.
Yeah.
They're young kids. They leave. The AHL is the same way. You're a developmental team, and even most of the time, the general managers of those teams are just the NHL general managers.
And, like, the lower you get in, like, professional leagues, the less likely they're even gonna, like, have a GM. Like, some teams don't have GMs.
They have, they have one person
the
that's
coach
the
is
coach
both.
and GM.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably a general manager. It would just be awesome to make all those hockey decisions. I mean,
Sit in
a
the
lot
press
of
box with a nice suit.
right. A lot of what you do is also non-hockey operations related. Like you're just keeping the franchise alive.
Yeah.
But I guess being a coach would be fun just to be in the locker room. Right. I think it'd be a lot of fun just to hang out with the players a lot more than the general manager does. Right.
Like you're one of the guys.
Right. I just want to be one of the dudes, man.
One of the dudes.
You gotta answer far
What's
less
better than
questions
this? Guys
GM.
being dudes.
I feel like I would do so much media as like if I say that now as being
don't talk ever.
No, but I know, but like it would be so much fun.
I subscribe to the Mark Bergevin school of you talk to the media 3-4 times a year tops.
No, I would start so many fights.
No, you
Like,
talk yourself into holes,
God.
man.
Exactly, it'd be so much fun because I wouldn't care at all. It'd be like, oh, like this trade just happened. Like, does that impact any of your move? Like, you see that trade? That trade sucked.
Yeah.
That general manager doesn't know what he's doing.
Trevor is turning into
Just
tortoise.
start fights.
Really.
I give Mark Bergevin a lot of credit for it because, like, he even like when he makes a great trade and it works out, and really far down the line, he could easily just come in front of the media just be like, yeah, fucking told you. He doesn't. And he comes when it gets really tough and he has to answer a lot of questions about his job. But yeah, I subscribe to that idea that you don't need to talk to the media every day.
Yeah.
People higher up in hockey ops should talk as little as possible. Let the coach talk. Let the players talk.
Yeah. I don't know. It would be fun to start fights.
Beth, thanks for the questions.
I agree. Thank you.
I hope your summer is full with as much joy as Gritty's.
Yeah.
Maybe an equal amount of hermit crabs.
If you like hermit crabs.
Hermit crabs suck.
Yeah, they do. I used to get them as pets, and they just die. They don't even
time.
last like a year.
Yeah.
Have I told my hermit crab story on the podcast?
I don't know.
I feel like you did, but yeah. Do it again.
Okay. So.
I don't remember it, so.
One time, my older sister got a hermit crab. I think it was from a pet store. That's
Sure.
not very important. Anyway, my mom we had like this big aquarium for it, and my mom would
They don't need that.
I was going to say.
Yeah, I know. What the fuck? He has a home already. It's on his back.
They need a cage the size of a tub of Breyer's ice cream, and that's all they need.
Brian's ice cream's getting smaller, though.
Breyer's ice cream. Is this a fucking mansion?
Colored rocks that definitely are just like they are when they're in the wild.
Yeah, definitely.
Fucking rich ass
Can you imagine
kid.
what it's like to go from like
some kid with a stupid ass sunburn,
gray rocks, gray water, and then it's just like color. It's like what the fuck?
Kid with a stupid ass sunburn and his fucking loud ass flip flops coming in a goddamn gift shop. Mommy, I want this live thing.
Can you put Deadpool on my hermit crab shell?
I want it to look like Super Mario.
Anyway.
Fucking kids. Hate kids.
When it was
Did you not get a hermit crab?
No, I did, and I felt dumb about it.
Fair enough.
it was time to clean the aquarium because hermit crabs fucking stink. If
They
you've
do.
never had a hermit crab, they fucking smell. My mom would take the crab out, put it in a shoebox, and then clean the aquarium outside to like air it out. One time, it was over the summer. This hermit crab was fucking ancient, by the way. She did it outside, left the shoebox outside. There was a storm coming, a big fucking summer thunderstorm coming. All the chairs in our deck were moved, and like maybe
Was it the hermit crab? Did he move?
Yeah.
maybe
Help me.
like after the storm passes, my mom goes, "The hermit crab's still outside. He's still outside."
He sure is. He's about 3 yards down the road, but he's outside.
Yeah, we couldn't find him. And then
What?
a couple summers pass. We are kind of like doing like yard work
Sure.
around, cleaning out branches and leaves and whatever. And we find his shell
Poor hermit crab.
just in there.
I have a similar
You do?
hermit crab story,
You do?
actually, now that you remind me.
You do.
My brother had a hermit crab. Aaron, if you're listening, why? Second, thanks. His hermit crab was named Lil Puddin' Lil Puddin' died, unfortunately, and Aaron wanted to pay his respects, as Trevor's emulating now, pouring one out for Lil Puddin'. So my brother buried him in the backyard. And, I don't know, probably a half hour later, the dog comes up to the door with Lil Puddin' in her mouth. Now,
Wait, you straight up buried him without anything.
don't say you. I didn't do shit.
He was straight up buried.
I would have buried him in a box.
In a box.
I would have taken one of those little snack sized or the little breakfast sized portion of cereal with one of those boxes.
Yeah.
I would have enjoyed myself some Captain Crunch or some. I don't make Captain
With
Crunch in those
some,
boxes.
crying
some
over
Frosted Flakes.
Your Frosted Flakes.
I would have then taken the box, put Little Puddin' in a bag, then in the box, and then bury it. Why? Because things from the ocean smell when they're alive.
Yeah.
And then 6 feet under the hermit crab, bury a body. That
Yeah.
way they can never find it.
Yeah, I bet my brother just just took his foot and went poof, and like pushed some dirt off. He's like, "That's good."
Was it
and then,
Daisy?
Yeah, it was Daisy.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Bless up to the greatest dog.
She was
That's too funny.
cremated. That's how you fucking do it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
'Cause
if
otherwise-
a bigger animal comes to your
No,
door?
not a bigger animal. Puddin' he back. Just he's got a claw and
And he's like,
Dragging the dog.
like
he just goes up to the door and this little hermit crab just goes ding dong.
Oh my god.
It's Friday, my dudes. I think that's it.
I think that's it.
I hope you enjoyed how much of this podcast was just nonsense.
Yeah.
I did. This was
I
fun.
enjoyed it.
I hope you enjoyed seeing us for the first time.
Hopefully.
Hopefully,
This
is
might-
it still recording? Hopefully.
I hope so.
Did you press the start button? What?
Oh no, the lens cap's on.
I don't know how quickly
It'll upload
it'll be
and
up
yeah, we'll have to see.
with the audio.
That's awesome.
Audio will probably come first.
Yeah, possibly, but I'll have the audio file and I'll send it to you so you can get it on the video. We'll see how it goes. All right. This was a Rabbit Habs podcast. I haven't written on Rabbit Habs recently, although you can go read my story on Arturi Lehkonen and who he is since he just signed a 2-year contract extension with the Canadians.
Hella.
Sweet.
I don't have anything written on UL Armia, but I might. I like UL
Did
Armia.
Lehkonen score a goal this year?
Joel.
He did score.
Oh, he did.
You're thinking of Mete,
Figured Mete.
and the answer is yes.
Mid.
It'll be a power play goal too.
When are they gonna sign Wheel?
Yeah, they gotta do Wheel
Wheel
next.
Gotta do it.
Trevor, I love it. Thank you.
Try.
You could go on Rabbit Habs and see other things. This is mostly the only thing that's going up on that site right now, so I apologize.
You can go on Rabbit Hub and see us.
Yeah, what up?
What up? What up?
I'll check.
That's at Rabbit Habs. You can follow the podcast at Nosebleeds Cast. This is an Anchor podcast. If you want to start your own podcast, do Anchor. You heard us talk about it already.
You probably did.
For
yeah.
too long, come to think of it.
Yeah.
Follow me on Twitter at BoisvertIan, BoISVRT Ian. I'm very close to 600 followers.
Wow.
I'm not asking you to share, so don't.
I'm glad you're Ian again and not Ghost Bear.
Yeah, that dream died.
Good. Leave it
Thanks,
where it should
Sarah.
be.
Has killed the
I have
dream.
173 followers. I'm so sad.
173?
Yep, that's it.
Boy needs a signal boost.
I had no followers.
God, I
Well,
massacred my boy.
Trevor, where can they follow you?
Follow me on Twitter at goldspersonal.
Fuck yeah, Kristen.
Please. This is my self-worth. I'm just
I'm
kidding.
Kristen. You can follow me on Twitter at letterbombs, letter_bombs. That's it. That's about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. Capo Caco.
Bye.
Bye.
Till next time.
Bye.
Bye. Tell us if we look weird with you, camera, or whatever.